Hey YouTube, this is Kim Apocalypse, and today I'm going to talk about a TV that I've already had, and I got rid of it once to go bigger and better, and then I got to some premium TVs. I got all those open box because I'm average like you. I don't want to spend a bunch of money on a TV. I really don't. But I kept finding good deals for this TV and that TV. So I kept moving up, moving up. I eventually moved Q70, 950G, 65 inch, 950G, 55 inch. Um, Went to a Q70, 55 inch, then a 65 inch. Then I went to a Q80, 65 inch, and the last one I had was a 55 inch. And I with all these premium TVs, I've found one thing, that just because they're premium TVs doesn't mean they're the best. The only one that I actually found that was really good, that I really enjoyed the picture, and not really the operating system, but the picture itself, was the LG OLED, the B9 that I had. Um, I really enjoyed it. I did. I didn't like the operating system as much because just you couldn't get Spectrum on there, you can't get Philo on there, you can't get the CW on there. It's limited, and that's what the other TVs had advantages over the OLED. Now I took the OLED back, and I actually got a 55 inch 950G again after that. Um, Brighter picture, not as detailed, blooming, depending on your settings, at settings in the TV and also your surroundings. Blooming sometimes was an issue with that TV because where it was so bright, you could, if it was at nighttime and you had some lights turned out and you were just trying to watch a movie, you did notice some blooming. And like if you would turn the volume up and down, that white haze would go over the screen. And that's not saying that it's a bad TV. It's a really good TV. It really is. The issue with the blooming though is once you see an OLED, it's hard to see the blacks on anything else. Um, there's no such thing as a perfect black in an LED TV. I don't care how many dimming zones. I don't care how high your contrast is. If you're an LED TV, then you're going to have some kind of blooming somewhere. And if you go from an OLED to a LED TV, then you're going to notice it more so than anybody else because you've already seen perfect blacks. You've seen what an OLED could do. You see that infinite contrast in between the dark colors and light colors. And here's another thing I want to say too. A lot of people knock OLEDs because they say they're not very bright. And I'm one of those. And the reason I'm saying this is because you don't need a lot of brightness for an OLED because you have the infinite contrast. The distinguish between blacks and whites. And the thing about an OLED is it has perfect blacks. So your colors are going to have infinite contrast. So against a perfect black, you have the perfect colors and you have the perfect, I'm going to say the perfect whites, because I noticed that like if something was loading on a screen and it was a black screen and then like the white continue or something popped up in the corner, it was, it was bright and vibrant white. And that's because it had the perfect blacks. And that's awesome. So you don't have to have like high levels of peak brightness on an OLED to get a great picture. The infinite contrast and the infinite black level does it for you. It looks absolutely stunning. And so when I went back to the 950G, which the reason I went back to the 950G was because I paid $1,300 for the OLED, and they put the 950G on sale for $899. And I wanted to save some money like I always do. So I went down to the 950G, and I say down to the 950G because once you see an OLED picture and you go to anything else, you're going to notice the differences in the brightness, in the detail, everything. And I'm not knocking I'm not knocking Samsung, I'm not knocking Sony. They, for what they are, they have a great picture. They really do. Sony has one of the best motion rates out there, and that's great. But it wasn't for me. So I went ahead, and this TV is on sale. This is the TCL 625 that I had once before. I had one a couple weeks ago, and I had to take it back because the picture was not bright at all. No matter what you've done to it, the brightness was very dim. There was something wrong with the panel. So I took it back and gave up. I was like, well, I don't want to do another TCL. I could have, but I didn't. And then, you know, if you're an internet guru and you sit there and you read things on the internet all the time to figure things out, that's where you get your news from. Well, you know, I read things, and I read that they had an issue with their backlighting system because of the firmware. They have since fixed that. And this right here is proof. And I went with this TV because, one, it was another $100 cheaper, and it was 10-inch bigger. I went from a 55-inch 950G to this one, which is a 65-inch TCL 625. Now, this video I'm about to show you, if you can see it up in the corner right here, it says Quantum TV. Quantum Apotheosis put together I guess a bunch of clips of copyright free material that you can use as demos and stuff. And I'm going to show you these. And these are bright, they're vibrant. The picture on this TV it's stunning. Let me see if I can find a mute, because I don't want to. Now there's details that, see, I'm using a Samsung phone, so of course it's going to blow some colors out of the water. Like that red, it looks like it's blown out of the water. It's not blown out of the water. Her face looks like it's, you know, got a big red hue to it. This looks completely red. It's not like that. If you watch these videos yourself, they look really good. And, you know, I appreciate him doing this for people to use these as copyright free. You know, kudos to you, Quantum TV, for doing this. I really appreciate it. But he put together some good slides, and you can see right here, I mean, that just looks absolutely stunning on this TV. It really does. And I mean, it's hard to believe that a $799 TCL 625 looks this good. And in the beginning, when I had it, you know, I kind of got greedy. I was like, you know, I want to go up. I want to go to a Samsung. I want to go to an LG. I want to go to a Sony, you know, because you hear, you know, every time you walk into a Best Buy, they say the Sony's the best TV that you can get. And they are really good. They're not the best, okay? And then if you do go for the best, which to me would be the Sony OLED, you're going to be paying out the yang for it. I mean, the B9 OLED LG right now is only $12.99. And then you got the A8G, which is last year's model of the Sony, at $14.99. And these are sale prices. So, I mean, they're a couple $100 more. And then if you jump up to the A9G, you're going for broke. You're taking out a loan for it. And it's just ridiculous to me. It really is. So, yes, Sony's a good TV. Yes, I enjoyed it. But when I could get this for $100 less, and they're supposed to fix the Sorry for the screen jump. I just had a problem with my phone recording. Anyway, but when I could get this for $100 cheaper and 10 inches bigger, I jumped on it. So, um, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, the Sony's a great TV. It really is. But, once you go to an OLED and then you go to um, like a Sony 950G or Samsung Q80 or anything, it's just not the same. My goal is to get back to an OLED. And uh, my reason I want to do that is because of the picture quality. The picture quality on those are fabulous. They're great. I mean, there's brighter TVs out there, but there's TVs not as detailed either. Uh, Once you have those perfect blacks, you get great detail. Um, so that's my goal. And I don't want a 55 inch, I want a 65 inch. So that's what I'm going to be working towards. Um, but for the time being, I have this TV. I saved money on it. It was $7.99. The 55 inch is $5.49 right now. So, I mean, jump on it if you can. But another thing I want to address was the fact that, people were making comments about how many returns I do. And I do. I make a lot of returns and exchanges. Okay. Right now, they're doing the satisfaction guaranteed from, I think it was December 1st until January 17th. Um, so it's hassle free, guaranteed returns. Um, they don't say nothing to you. Now, I do have a select few people that I talk to when I go into a store and I say, hey, this one's not doing right, which I've had a few that's like the other TCL, it wasn't doing right. I had a 950G that would shut off and it would have a red blinking light. I had a 65 inch that Q80 Samsung that was starting to get lines forming towards the top and they was going down the screen. Just things like that. And they understand that. When you do returns like that, be honest about it. And I'm going to be the first one to say that I'm honest about all the returns that I do. I don't take parts out of them. I don't. I don't take them and do anything illegal with them or anything like that. And that's the comments I've been getting. I'm not that type of person. If I don't like something, I'm going to return it. If there's something wrong with something, I'm going to exchange it, and that's just how it is. So right now, usually during the year, Best Buy goes through a third party, I guess a third party company that sits there and singles people out that do a lot of returns. But that's not in play right now between December 1st and January 17th because it's the hassle-free returns. So, I mean, kudos to Best Buy for doing that. I really appreciate that, especially, I am a indecisive person. And, I'm going to stick with this one. I believe I'm going to stick with this one until about tax time when I can fix my goal of, getting me a 65-inch OLED. So, on this TV, I'm going to show you some gaming. Probably next week. I got an Xbox One S. I do not have an X. I know it's 4K gaming, but at this late in the game, where the new ones are getting ready to come out next year, I don't see going and spending $400 or $500 on a game system that I'm going to buy a brand new one next year anyway. Probably do some PlayStation on here. I'd like to, put Death Stranding on it to see how detailed it is. So, we're going to do a couple things with this TV. And then when I get my OLED that I'm, set my goal for, then this TV is going to be retired to the bedroom. So, I mean, I might do a couple, comparisons, side-by-side comparisons on it. But until then, I'm going to do some tweaking on it, do some settings, do some gaming, some, a lot of movies. So that's what I have planned for this. But anywho, I appreciate y'all watching my videos. I'm sorry I didn't put one out last week. With Christmas and everything, it's been kind of hectic and hard to find time to do things. But anyway, I'll have another video for you next Sunday. So I appreciate it if y'all watch that also. But anyway, this is Ken Apocalypse. Like my videos, subscribe to my channel, and I'll have more for you next time.